we're gonna restore my old grandma's cast iron skillet. So I had to come see an expert, my expert friend, Cast Iron Cody. Now, what kind of skillet is this? By looking at the bottom marks, what does that tell me about?
This is a 3-notch lodge. You can tell by the 3 predominant notches at 12 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock. And it's a number 8 skillet. The number 8 is not the size of the skillet, but what it tells is what size hole or ring that this will fit on during the wood burning stove days.
All right, we're going to turn this into a beautiful restored cast iron skillet like one of these. Maybe not as nice, but we're going to try.
Okay.
All right, we're going to use the oven self-cleaning method to burn off all the gunk.
I'm going to go right about the middle rack. You're always going to burn yourself when you're a cast iron
Aficionado.
You're going to want to put it in upside down. We're going to go ahead and do this old chicken fryer as well. Oh, shit. While we're at it.
Yeah, we need some work.
And there you go.
How long do we leave it in?
Has 4 hours and 20 minutes. It doesn't necessarily be that much. I think once the smell is really gone, you can take it out. It's usually about 3 hours. So we'll just see.
All right.
We're going to hook up the fans because it's going to smoke you up.
All right, 3.5 hours later, and then we let it cool for what?
About an hour.
About an hour. And now we're going to take it out.
Still very hot. Yeah, we won't be able to touch it with our hand. This is the first one that was really crowded. You can see it's just a lot of the flake fell off in the bottom of the oven, so what I do is I just vacuum it out when it cools off. It's very easy.
That's it. That's the 3-notch right there.
Yep. Well, what you'll see is when you brush it off, it still has rust on it, so we'll give it a vinegar bath. It's getting hot. It's getting hot. It's still very, very hot.
It's hot.
It's best to let it cool in the oven as long as you can, so it doesn't shock it.
What's the other side? Flip it over. What's the inside look like?
It just wipes right out, see?
Yeah. All right, now what do we got to do? Let it keep
Let
cooling
it
off
cool
more.
just a little bit longer. And it's cool.
All right, we'll let it cool longer and be back.
Yeah.
Okay, skillet is cooled.
I'm going to rinse it out with cold water. For some reason, when you rinse it with colder water, it helps prevent the flash rust. See, already most of it's come off, and it looks really good.
Looks good.
It's got some rust, a little bit of rust. We might be able to.
I think it's.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
that's pretty smooth.
That's fine.
Man.
I think
yeah,
once
I
you
like
get some
that.
seasoning on it,
Yeah.
it'll smooth out. Okay, what are we going to do?
Our next step for any stubborn rust that we got in here that we don't feel like using too much elbow grease for, we're going to put it in a solution of 50% white vinegar and 50% water. And you can see the solution is very dark because I've used it multiple times, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything to the solution. You can use it multiple times over and over again, which is cost saving. Make sure the whole thing is submerged. We want to do about maybe an hour, 45 minutes. We don't want to go too long. Some people say overnight, but I think that can cause scaling. So we're just going to do about an hour and we'll come back and check it.
All right, it's kind of dark.
It's been about 45 minutes.
We're going to check on our pan.
First thing we want to do is use cold water and just rinse, give it a good rinse and get all that vinegar off and somewhat stop the activation of the vinegar. And then we'll start the reseason cleaning process again. I'm going to use kosher salt. There's probably enough water in the pan to make a slurry. Soap. It's just scrub till you can't scrub anymore. I'll just make segments of that. be very black when it comes off the first couple times. Make sure you get the rim. Too, a lot of people forget to get this little rim rust set up on it.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. Still some little dark spots, maybe a couple little rust in the inside these little pore spouts, but we'll get those out.
Let's go put it under the light and look at it better.
Okay, we got the pan out of the sink and we got it cleaned up as best we can, inspected it for rust. We don't see any. It looks really nice clean surface. What we're going to do next is dry it with a paper towel, and we're going to get a lot of black stuff on it. That's okay. We're going to want to dry it real good. Best we can with a paper towel. We're going to want to put it into the oven at about a 300 degree temperature, 250 or so, just to heat it up and dry it, continue drying it, make sure there's no moisture on it, so we can go ahead and get our oil applied. Not bad. It's not as dirty as I would think. I've seen it a lot worse. Okay, after we get it dried, we're really kind of on a race of time to prevent flash rust from happening. Upside down, about 300 degrees, and let those pores open up and get nice and hot so it can accept that oil for seasoning. It's been about 10-15 minutes, about 300 degrees. It's nice and hot. I can't handle it with my bare hands. First coat of oil we're going to do is a flaxseed base coat. This is a little bit of a harder polymerizing oil, especially if we're just going to do the inside with the flaxseed, more expensive. So it's going to turn your rag a little dark. That's okay. This was actually very clean compared to that I've seen. Okay. We're going to turn it over. We'll use this side. We're going to use Crisco. Just going to smear it on a rag. Get it in there real good. All around. Make sure you cover everything, including the handle. Okay. Then the trick is going to be to wipe off any excessive oil that's on there, like you never wanted it on there to begin with. Kind of wipe it off, and believe me, it's soaked into the pores, and you're not going to get it all out. Just wipe forever. Okay. The rag is still a little brown. It's okay. This is going to be our first application.
What temperature's the oven got to be?
Okay, I'm going to keep it still at around 300, 350 for now. And we're going to do what I do, what I call the initial soaking. So, make sure it's wiped out as best you can. It's already darkened up a little bit. Put it in there. About another 10 minutes or so. It's been about another 10-15 minutes after we applied the first coat. What we're doing is we're going to get in a really good soak in. So we're going to take it and we're going to apply another coat. Okay. This isn't the initial burning. This is just trying to get a really good soak in. And you can see the rag. And it's also a cleaning process because the rag, every time you do this, it does clean the cast iron skillet a little bit more. Eventually, the seasoning will just cover everything. It's very hot, so be careful. Always going to burn yourself doing cast iron. It's just almost inevitable. See? Okay, now once again, you're going to want to wipe it out real good. I think this time we're going to go ahead and crank it up to 500 and try to get this oil that's in the pan right now to polymerize and have our first coat of true seasoning. Wipe it out real good. You see it's getting less and less on the paper. It's really good. Make sure you really emphasize on the, just burn. Emphasize on the inside of the pan. That's the most important part. Pretty. Let's go ahead and put it in and crank it up. Upside down so any oil that is inside doesn't coagulate in the bottom. Alright, so we're going to check it out. It's been about 45 minutes or so. A little bit of oil that kind of bubbled up on that rim. We want to make sure that that is wiped down so it doesn't stay on there. But right as of now, the pan, look at the inside. Beautiful. See that? Have enough light?
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's, the first seasoning really took really well. I don't see any kind of bubbling oil or anything. But we got to work fast with this because it is hot. Okay, here comes the second coat. Pan's really hot. Get it all in there real good. It's going to do this fast. You don't want to burn your towel. You don't want to burn your towel to your cast iron.
Are you using Crisco this time?
This time we're just going to use Crisco. We use the flaxseed oil as the first initial base, just for the initial burn-in, and then
Well, if we don't have Crisco, don't have flaxseed, can we just use Crisco for the whole
you can
thing?
use Crisco for the whole thing. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just a preference that I do.
So you put all that Crisco on there. Now you're wiping it off again.
Wiping it off again until it's
Getting it dry.
dry looking. See how it's, a lot of it's soaked in already. So
Yeah, it's starting to look.
and look at the rag.
Yeah.
Relatively clean now. So you're down now to where you're just seasoning. It looks good. We're working fast with this. It's coming through my glove.
All right, back in the oven.
Back in the oven. Check it in a little bit. Make sure nothing bubbled up on it.
How long in there?
We'll check it in about 15 minutes to make sure that last initial oil, nothing came to the surface and is going to bubble up.
Okay, there's the final finished pan after how many times in and out of the oven? Seasoning?
Three good coats. 3 good coats of seasoning. Maybe 4. I can't remember. It was so late at night.
So it came out pretty good. We did not resurface or polish the inside, but it I think it has a pretty good surface. There we go.
I'm going to do a little bacon in it, christen it, and then do some eggs and see how it performs. See some sliding going on. Wait the heat.